Well, hello again. Yes, the Weaver Giant Sea of Roseman, California. The asshole has sent you something out here on the West Coast? Yeah. Concerning about Hegseth stars in a bizarre infomercial for $1.5 trillion Pentagon budget. I am the wall president, don't you understand? I get rid of Trump, now I run the War Department, because now I am the war god. I'm not the war secretary. I'm the war god. Don't you understand? I follow Jesus Christ at this point over here. Jesus wants war. He wants blood. He wants everything. So does America. You gotta feel it here. You gotta feel it because I want more money out of you. I want more. I. I gotta get a fucking hold of myself. It's one thing. I'm going to do something about vaccinations at this point. I mean, there's no vaccinations in this thing. This is not a. This is nothing we got here. It's not Hunter or Hanta or whatever it's called. It's just something about the wall secretary that wants a lot of stuff out of it. Oh my God! But I didn't get a vaccination today against vaccinations. I'm overdue. This is not good for the Kennedy line. This is not good for the Kennedy line. No, I am not auditioning anything. I do sometimes the voiceovers just to amuse myself, but I don't do it publicly at this point over here. It's not that I'm publicly doing this, but I'm the President of the United States. I'm Donald Trump. And you gotta understand, I'm Donald Trump. You can't do this to me. I'm Donald Trump. Now, that person you have in there, that person who you're with all the time, oh, she's part of a rotten network. You can't do that. You can't set her on the people at this point over here. You can't have her complain about me. I'm Donald Trump. I think the older I'm getting, I think I'm getting more and more senile in my own behavior. Because if I'm starting to imitate these guys and I'm trying to work on their accents and their mannerisms at this point, I too will be looking forward to a straitjacket and a padded room, isolated from everybody else, and just let the characters take over. Lose my own personality and not deal with the rest of the world because the rest of the world's going hell in a handbasket. Why? Because we allowed it. We allowed it, Jess. We screwed ourselves over on this one. And by the way, if Miss Page is watching, hello, Miss Page. 2016, we didn't know what the hell was coming. We knew about Donald Trump and his damn fixation on media and bullshitting people left and right, but the rest of the world either bought it or didn't buy it. But we didn't warn them the first time because we got sick and tired of what was happening with the Democrats and the Republicans going after each other. Snipping and sniping. Well, isn't that politics for you? Snipping and sniping at each other because we couldn't stand one viewpoint or another viewpoint, but there wasn't one event that started it all. There's not one single source that we can blame it on. And even if we had blamed it on HS, there's no way we can fix it. We're dealing with a regime change in the United States at this point over here. The thing that scares the hell out of me is the thing that will be pulling me off the damn platforms and me visiting people for a 72-hour hold. We already had a few attempts already. And he's still living. He's still alive. Either they've been setups or they're actuals. And that old gas bag is doing this to himself to get attention from away from the Epstein files or anything else for that matter. Distraction, distraction, distraction. Even if it's a major one or a minor one, doesn't matter. He's aiming for it. And Hegseth is a distraction. He's pulling our attention away from him, who is still losing his mind. And by the way, to Miss Page and to you concerning about the reporter from ABC News. Yes, it's incredibly stupid and ungentlemanlike for him to curse and cuss at a reporter doing her job. But you got to realize he's a racist as well. But this is not the only time. When I'm not talking about just Trump and his mouth, I'm talking about there are instances in human history, U.S. history. I'll take that. When we actually had press, and we actually had early presidents getting attacked by the press, trying to get more and more information. There had been stories being posted on sites about how many incidents we've had, press versus the White House, and how confrontational they can be at certain aspects and certain times of our country's history. So to me, hearing about this attack, and sucks as it does, but it's part of the job. Jess, it's part of the fucking job. You don't go into the White House and expect everything to be rosy. You go into the White House and expect a combat zone. You of all people would understand what a combat zone would be like. You've been through it. And did the press people actually survive those? Did you actually came across other stories concerning about journalists getting blasted in combat zones? Was that the easier job that they actually had? Instead of working at the White House and getting assaulted left and right? If they were getting assaulted left and right, maybe they were getting popular. Too damn popular. Because they were targeting the right questions to the assholes that got voted in the office who refuse to cooperate. And it has to be expected. Even probably under Obama's, under Bush's, under Clinton's, throughout history, there had to be some conflict. Had to be clashes. Yes, Trump has got a derogatory brain. He's derogatory, period. He's racist. He's walking, talking racism. He's a walking, talking racist. Say it for what it is. He doesn't give a shit. And yes, we had extremism voted into office. With other people trying to keep extremism. But we have extremism in state governments right now. And in the court systems. If we ever get it purged, it's not going to be in your lifetime or mine. How long did it take to get civil rights going? Or barely? Yeah, count how many centuries that was. Or decades, if you can. We will never see an absolute perfect country. Look at the dollar bill that you have in your pocket. Go ahead, dig the damn thing out. It says $1 on it. Look at the back. Other than the portrait on the other side. And you see the pyramid, right? Is it not complete? Get the message. If we were complete, if we were a perfect society, that thing would have been solidified. We wouldn't be having this kind of a conversation because we'd be perfect. Whatever the hell that is. We're not. We're imperfect. And yes, racism has been part of our country's history. Part of the ugly bedrock. Or part of the mortar that made this country the way it is. And we still haven't been able to get a formula for that kind of cement or even filler to get rid of it. We haven't. But the thing is, we do not stop trying. We keep fighting. The bitch of it is, if we wanted to show or mention any other kind of forms of fighting, yeah, I know the platforms would have this mechanism of pulling it out. but we're still fighting. And we will not stop. We will not stop. You have a mouth, I've got a mouth. We use it. If you want to know about something about a little bit of Christianity for the Garden of Gethsemane, when Christ was confronted by the Pharisees in the Roman Empire in the form of soldiers, one or two of his followers managed to take out the swords that they actually had and started spilling blood. A trickle here, a trickle there, but cut off an ear, that bleeds. But Christ didn't want that. Not for both sides. Unfortunately, that's the thing that scares the hell out of people. Certain lines. We're afraid of the swords. The intent, the device, the application. Christ didn't want that. He'd rather die, and he was going to die, before anybody else would. So I learned some things about my own religion here. And if you happen to see anything crawling around, don't freak. I'm on a constant bug war in this place. See, I deal with also a reality check. I'm not living in a nice fancy apartment. I'm living in a disaster zone. Thing between me and Trump, he's never lived in it, and I have. And do I wish his? No. Because I don't want to deal with the two-legged roaches. I'm dealing with the multi-legged roaches. At least they're honest. They're scared of me. Anyway, I thought I'd get that off my chest. Feel free to take a look at the sign in the back. And don't mind the dog. That being said,